Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, bringing back an oldie but goodie, my all-time favorite, Simon Says Stamps Beautiful Flowers stamp set. And yes, this is my 24th video using this set. I have used it a lot over the years. As you can tell, this stamp is like stained almost solid black at this point. Still works great. I've had it for 4 or 5 years now. Something like that, and it's still just, it is my favorite. So anyway, I was inspired by a card I saw on Instagram the other day by Jessica Vasher. She made this just gorgeous card using the same stamp set with this full glitter background, and I was like, oh, love. So I was inspired by that. I will link to her Instagram in the description box below the video. Highly recommend you guys check her out. She makes fabulous cards. So, not only was that the inspiration, I also just got my box of Spectrum Noir TriBlend brush markers. I've done several videos recently using the TriBlend markers with the bullet nibs that, you know, I whine and complain about. I just don't like the bullet nibs, but I will still use the other ones. You know, I paid for them and I like the colors, but I do prefer this brush nib. For me, so much better. Just, I don't know. I can get in areas just fine. I understand like the bullet nibs. For a lot of people, you get more control with that. But I personally like having the brush nibs because I'm also usually coloring like larger images, etc. But yeah, to each their own. Whatever works for you. Again, like I've said in other videos, if you've got Copics, do you need these? No. If you don't like coloring with alcohol markers, do you need these? No. Did I need them? No. Am I a magpie with coloring mediums just like I am with bling and glitter and all the things? Yes. If, you know, in a perfect world, I would have every single coloring medium known to man on the planet in my garage craft space because I just like that. But anyway, I stamped the image onto Simon's smooth white cardstock with Simon's Intense Black ink, which is alcohol marker friendly. And then I used the TriBlend brush markers to color in these images. And a floral image like this, honestly, it looks intimidating because it's so detailed, and yet that's actually the beauty of it. Follow the lines. Apply your darkest colors in the areas where there's already shading that has been drawn out onto this image. So it really makes it very simple to know where to put the darker areas and the lighter areas. And even as I'm saying that, at the same time, an image like this, you don't even got to worry about it. Again, I've done dozens of videos using this set. A whole bunch of them, no coloring involved whatsoever, or it was like messy coloring or ink blending, you know, all the things. I will have a link to that playlist at the end of this video, because there's a ton of videos. There's also more of the Beautiful Flowers 2 set that Simon had released. That one is also a favorite. This is still my first big floral. I think this was the very first huge floral stamp I ever got. I'm almost positive. And I've loved it ever since. Anyway, I did my go-to when it comes to alcohol marker coloring. I just did darkest to lightest. That is what I'm loving about these TriBlend markers, is I don't have to think about it because the 3 shades are in each marker. Dark, medium, light. So I've just been going with that so far. I haven't got adventurous and started really mixing and matching, but I'm just enjoying it. So I went with I wouldn't call this an unconventional color blend, but I purposely went with colors that normally maybe I wouldn't reach for. But I just, at the moment, you know, I've been doing a lot of like pinks and reds because, you know, Valentine's, all that stuff. But I was like, what about coral and orange and then kind of aqua teal colors for the greenery? You know, why not? So that's what I did. So I did the coral blend for like the middle flowers, and then I did the burnt orange blend for the orange ones, and that burnt orange one I really like that. So I like all of them, really. So did those, did the greenery. Once I was done coloring, I used the coordinating wafer dies to die cut these out. And then the next step is optional. And this is actually something, I don't think I've ever done this, ever. I have no problem with the white outline around wafer dies. There's a lot of reasons for that. Like some people really don't like the outlines. With die cutting, if dies were to actually like butt up against the images, it starts getting really difficult, especially with clear stamps and trying to line things up and etc. That's why companies don't do it. It would cause more of a nightmare. The only company that ever did it was some of Tim Holtz's images, and I don't even think they're doing them anymore because again, it's a nightmare to line that up and for it to be consistent across all the manufacturing, etc., etc. Anyway, I don't mind the white outlines. I got used to it over the years. I'm fine with it. I don't mind the white outlines popping out. This one time though, I was like, I think it's going to be worth it to take the time to color this in. So after I die cut, I was more comfortable that way, die cutting first, then coloring. You could color, then die cut, whatever works. I'm using a Copic marker for this because there isn't really a black in the TriBlends. There's like a dark gray, but I wanted it black. And I never use my Copic blacks like ever. I've had this one for probably a decade and I've used it like twice maybe. Anyway, I used it. You could also use a Sharpie. That would work great too. I've super sped this up in editing. This did take me a little bit of time because I was purposely being careful not to, color over my image, make a mess after I'd already colored it in. But I colored in all of that white cardstock with this Copic marker. When I was done, I actually did the same sort of trick we used to do with fussy cutting, and I've shown that in other videos using black marker to color all the edges. And I did that again here to completely cover all that white exposed cardstock. This will just make things look a little more seamless. But like I said, I did it. I'll might not ever do it again. But then you never know. I might do it like 50 more times. Whatever floats your boat. But I was happy with it for this card. So then the next thing I did was I actually just took a scrap of white cardstock and I used the medium of the coral blend shades to quickly color it to get a piece of cardstock the same color or like in the color spectrum of these flowers. This is a great way, especially if you don't have a lot of color cardstock. I've shown this in other videos. You can use a marker, you can use your inks, whatever works, and just white cardstock to get things the color you want to die cut or to add little like elements, etc. So I'd colored the cardstock and then I die cut it with another oldie but goodie. This is the Thankful for You wafer die set. And after I die cut it, before popping it out of the die, I took little bits of washi tape and taped them behind the For You because those actually can pop out and you can like leave it open or you could layer them, etc. I just wanted to keep it all on one piece. And so that just taking those extra like minute to tape the backs of them just keeps it all in one and I don't have to worry about it. So then once I pop this out, that's all there. Another thing you can do is I could have run that through a couple more times, like with the scraps of the white and like layered those letters For You on top. But I liked how this turned out. So I just left it as is. And then I die cut the thankful word from scraps of white cardstock and I layered just two of them together just to give it a little bit more dimension. And I'm using my craft tacky glue and this is my little detail bottle. I've mentioned this in more recent videos. This is one of the Gina K detail bottles. I'll have a link to it. I filled one with my craft tacky glue. So far so good. It has not clogged even though craft tacky glue is thicker. So again, it's one of those personal preference things. Some people don't like thicker consistency glues. It's harder, to squeeze out of the bottle, etc. There's so many options out there, so just use keep with what works for you. I like my craft tacky glue, and I'm pleasantly surprised so far that I haven't clogged in this bottle because it is a thick glue. So anyway, use that, stack the sentiments together, and then the pièce de résistance with this card. This is some of Simon's Luxe glitter cardstock. I used this in a video not too long ago. I forget when. I've shown it in like release and review videos and I openly admitted I hoard this stuff because it's beautiful. It is just, it's beautiful. And I have no shame. I like to collect things and hoard them and I'm a magpie. Anyway, that card by Jessica, she used one of the the champagne gold one, I think. Again, check out her Instagram. I'll have a link below the video. And I was like, you used a huge piece. Oh my God. Wow. She's not shy about using her, specialty cardstocks. Me, I'm just like, can I do this? Like, You know, will it be okay? Yes, it's okay. I can always order more. I'm going to have to. So I cut down that piece of glitter cardstock. The cool thing is they come in 8.5 by 5.5 inch pieces. So if you cut them in half, you got 2 full A2 card fronts. So my card base is a top folding A2 white note card. So 4 1/4 by 5.5. On the inside, I stamped one of the sentiments from another oldie but goodie, So Talkative set. And I added that individual floral that I had colored. I then glued my LUXE glitter cardstock to the card base. Again, it is just lush. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So I let that adhesive dry. Then to adhere my florals, I'm using Craft Tacky Glue again. You want to use strong adhesive, either a good strong liquid adhesive or like foam adhesive is a good one. When you're adhering anything to a glitter paper like this, or just glitter paper in general, or if you've like stenciled something with glitter paste, you want a good strong adhesive, because glitter, as beautiful as it is, like repels things in a sense. So like tape runner, no, I wouldn't. I would never. It would just fall off eventually, you know? But Craft Tacky Glue works perfect. So I adhered the floral and I positioned it so I got most of it on the card, and then just trimmed off the little bits that were hanging over the edges. And then I adhered my sentiment right on top of that as well. Let all that dry. Could always end here, but I did still add a little bit of bling, even though it's honestly subtle, because like the whole background is like solid bling. But I added more anyway. So I used some Studio Caudia Sky Blue crystals. So they're just there looking pretty, you know? So I just sprinkled a few of those around the background. I'm going to adhere those into place with dabs of the Craft Tacky Glue. I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to pair this card with one of Simon's metallic sea glass envelopes. So I got like shine and sparkle and this beautiful floral that... and I've said this in other videos using the set, like I will cry when this stamp set gets retired, but who knows, if I use it frequently enough, Simon might never, you know, you never know. But anyway, like I mentioned, I'll have a link to Jessica's Instagram in the description box below the video. I will also have that playlist link at the end of this video. I will have a link below to my blog post, to all the supplies I used. You can check all that out below if you are interested. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.